to the show.
What's going on, everybody? It is Dante again with another episode of Off the Mats podcast, and this is going to be a fun and special episode because I started doing this about a year ago, and my first guest was a good friend and teammate of mine, Coach Mark, and it just so happened that we were talking. We wanted to watch some UFC fights. We wanted to sit down and talk. I was like, why don't we record it? Fuck it, let's do it. So the 1 year anniversary episode is going to be me and Coach Mark. I guess maybe this is a thing, get him on here once a year. Like, that seems fair. But my guest this episode is going to be Coach Mark, so welcome back, homie. What's up?
Wow, I can't believe it's been a year. And ironically, we didn't even plan this. That's the crazy part. We didn't even plan this.
So it was in my head, but then I was like, nah, I don't know. I didn't have an ideal for a 1 year episode. People were like, do something big and special, do a blowout. I was like, yeah, that's not me. Like special to me is like shit like this. It's like, dude, you were on the first episode. That sounds so bad. Not because of you, because I knew what the fuck I was doing. We used my phone, and now here we are with microphones.
I know.
Like, holy shit, technology. So yeah, it definitely wasn't part of the plan, but it worked out. So I'm glad you're back on. I'm glad we're
Thank you. Yeah.
gonna watch some fights and talk about them.
I just think it's crazy that like this is something we always do all the time, but it's just now into an episode where we could actually like review and like look at things and like, oh, and compared to today's like standards too, like that's the big thing. That's what's so special about this episode is because we're using, what was it, 1 through 10? We got some fights, and like now we're gonna compare to like the fights now and how everything's just changed. I'm excited.
I mean, even with us training too, just that comparison. Because when you look at like, you look at just how things were in the old UFC, you think it's like, holy shit, that's what passed for. Like
that was a sweep. That was a pass.
Like holy shit, that's mount. Like okay, that's what we're doing because that's not what I was taught. So yeah, and like more often than not, we're having these discussions in Messenger for hours.
Yeah.
And it's like I can go back and read. Actually, after the Conor fight, all our discussions points were my notes for the Compton episode. So I'm sitting there like on my notepad, like actually writing what I could just read from my fucking phone, but I'm like writing them out.
Yeah.
And then when we sat down to talk, the only actual notes I didn't take from our discussion were the strikes.
Yeah.
Like the strike count and the stats and whatnot. I went back and saw the count after the fact, and then went back and just kind of rewatched it myself. I was like, oh, okay, that makes sense. All right, I get it now. But otherwise, yeah, all our discussion points were notes for another podcast. So this is what we do. So the first fight that we're watching, and what we're going to do as this goes through is we're going to watch an old fight, and we're just going to come back and kind of discuss it. So we've already watched the first fight on our docket, which was Shamrock versus Hoist Gracie from Ufc One, and some interesting points here. Just interesting fight, to say the least.
It is, especially the opening part of this fight. It's interesting because he starts off with a kick, goes down for a shot, but it was interesting for me because originally I started Muay Thai, and usually that kind of move works if you throw a knee behind it, grab someone's, post on them or grab them, and then, bring them down towards the knee. But then he went for a shot, and I was just like, wait. Wait, what?
I think Ken even felt that way because he sprawled. I was like, okay.
He sprawled, and like that's crazy. That kind of shot on his wrestling was great. Like the first, I guess, 1/3 of that fight. He got he got an underhook right away. Got chucked Hoist over, took an angle, pinned him up against the cage. That was all pretty solid, honestly, as a wrestler.
I think, kind of a point that we were discussing before we started recording is there's no pressure.
Yeah, yeah.
Because it's like he
So
had that
loose.
he had the move, he chucked him over, and yeah, it was just super loose. You see all that space, and I was like,
Yeah.
and Hoist was like, all right, well, fine, I'm just gonna pop out of this.
Hmm.
So
That pressure on a black belt is not. It's nothing for them. It's
no,
literally nothing.
no, and even with Hoist's pressure though too, because Hoist then ended up in mount, and it wasn't like Ken got his leg in there, but it wasn't like.
He was trying to do a weird like toss. I swear, like it was one of those old WWE throws into the ropes.
So he did say in the post fight when Hoist had him towards the end for the finish, he said he was going for a leg. So I'm wondering if he was trying to like hoist him up
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and then get under him to get a leg for some kind of a leg lock,
Yeah.
maybe. Because I don't like. I know I looked through some of these and saw a couple leg locks in the later UFCs, like 9 and 10, but I don't recall seeing anything in the first couple.
I don't think he was too hip on that yet. Because I mean, everything right now seems very traditional, especially like this being the beginning. Everyone's sticking to their designated style of taekwondo,
Yeah.
shoot fighting, wrestling, boxing. No one's really know about any moveset. So this is very special because it's literally like laying the foundation of, all right, there are these separate types of styles, and now we're all combining them, and it gradually grows, which I think is very amazing. Because now you see like how people are now. Like everything is just. Everyone's so worried about like different variables of like, oh, he's gonna go for a shoot, or he's gonna go for like certain like combos that don't normally work together in their respective sports, but they do here. So
Well, that's one of those interesting things with the first. I would say the first two UFCs, because by the third one it started really mixed up. But the first two, it's like if you come in, you say I'm a karate guy.
You straight karate.
Yeah, you say, and it's funny because like sometimes you'll see jiu-jitsu, then you'll see for another fighter, they'll say grappling.
Yeah.
they won't say wrestling. They won't say sambo. They'll just say grappling. And I'm like, okay, that's what we're doing. Y'all don't even give a fuck about that guy's name.
I will say by UFC 3, like past 3, like I remember watching Dan Sterven versus Ken Shamrock. Ken Shamrock was throwing knees while having tied up in a wrestling grips. That I find that was very special to me because it's like, oh, he's throwing all those different things instead of just like trying to go for shots. And
I think Ken Shamrock was one of the ones that started really mixing things up because he was a shoot fighter, so it's like he's got elements of wrestling in there and striking and stuff. So for him, it was business as usual. It's just trying to figure out some of these other things, and I think. By UFC 3, if I recall, it might have been the second one. It was still one of these earlier ones. They said that he went and started learning jiu-jitsu because, he that was his downfall. I mean, because if we go to the finish here with he and Hoist Gracie, I mean, basically Hoist gets his not really a full back, but he's behind him and just sinks the right arm under, and gets a rear naked choke essentially, and Ken, he didn't know what the fuck to do there.
No, he didn't. He
gave his back up, not really thinking, because just the old school like wrestlers. Period. They're like, don't pin me here, take my back.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it's also like understanding like the danger of certain things. Like for example, I know what a rear naked chokehold is, but I don't know the degree of threat. So maybe. Because in a post interview, he was like, I didn't protect my neck. It was like, no shit, you got choked. If you wouldn't been hip with the actual like technicalities of the move, then you wouldn't have got choked. You would have guarded your neck. You would have known like there's certain moveset that's very common in like Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. But he was not hip with like understanding like the concept of a rear naked choke. Maybe he knows of it, but I don't think he understood like how to really defend it that well.
He may not have known like what's actually the the focal point of it. It's like this is a choke, but what's this choke doing? I mean, like you watch any old school movie or even fucking current movie, somebody goes for a choke, and I always say when I'm watching a movie with my wife and somebody just puts their hand on someone's neck, I'm like,
I hate watching like movies and
it's like, look at that bitch ass choke. And it's like, and the same thing though, if somebody gets like what's Dexter. There's a season of Dexter. Actually, Dexter does it too. There's a few times he'll get behind somebody and it's like that choke is not doing anything to anybody. But for the person who's not well versed, they're panicking, and I think that's probably what happened with Ken Shamrock. It's like, okay, he's got a choke on me, like shit. Like, let me just go ahead and get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
I don't know if well, it's hard to say because we can't. The angle is kind of bad, but
yeah, you get to see a clear moment where Hoist kind of like feeds that arm all the way through, or kind of swims that arm through, and kind of just tightens up behind his head. What I find very interesting about it is he has like a weird hook on the leg, but it's from an interesting position because they're both parallel to each other, and he was still able to get that.
So I think that's where Ken was saying he was going for a leg in the post fight. He was saying he was like asking him like, what's going on. Also, I don't know that Ken knew what the fuck was going on. I don't know if he knew what he was doing, but he said he was going for a leg. And again, we can't really see this angle because I don't like just where it's paused. That it's like, all right, I don't know what's where, but it is a very bizarre angle.
Yeah.
So I couldn't tell you, but again, he fished the arm through, and at first it looked weird. I was like, what? That doesn't look right.
I thought he choked him with his gi or did some sort of like maybe like clock choke or something, or
because the positioning looked like he's going for a clock choke. All right, that's cool. I was like, well, wait a minute. Ken doesn't have on a gi for a clock choke.
So how did he do it? Did he use his own lapel?
So that's what I was like. Maybe use I don't know. I'm not a black belt.
Were they allowed to use their lapel? Like
yes,
their own lapel.
Yeah, because
I remember they could pull hair, you could punch him in the nuts, do all the fancy stuff.
That shit was wild. Like the only thing you couldn't do was like eye gouge and fish hook, and you couldn't bite. But you could punch a dude in the nuts and pull hair.
Who was it? The guy? What's his name from Austin Powers? The one that throws the shoe. He got punched in the nut like 50 times.
Yeah, it was like
in a weird banana split.
Yeah, he's just sitting there getting punched in the nuts, and I'm looking like, what? I guess he's got all the kids that he need because he's clearly not using those boys anymore.
He was honestly taking it like,
God, thinking about it's making my stomach hurt. And then I think there's two other fighters. They came to an agreement before the fight. Hey, you don't pull my hair, I won't pull your hair.
Yeah.
It was like, all right, gentleman's agreement, fair enough. Good for them being good sports because, I'm from Detroit. I'll say I'm not going to pull your hair, but I'm going to pull your hair and kick you in the dick.
Hoist, didn't he pull Chemo's hair?
Yes.
Yeah, he pulled by the ponytail. Yeah, I thought he ripped it off.
It was like, fuck your hair. Like, I'm trying to win. Imagine if that was Hickson. Like, they couldn't control Hickson. Hickson was fucking everybody up. Like, damn, wow. How different would that have been?
This is why people wanted to learn the Gracie styles, because the way Hoist was using it was practically, it was street fighting.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, this whole thing is technically structured street fighting. So he's utilizing everything he can. He's using the hair, using his own gi, everything. I mean, fuck, if I'm on the street and I'm wearing a nice sports coat, best believe I might try to lapel choke someone with it.
But it's always funny when people talk about gi versus no gi. And it's like, well, you're not wearing a gi in the streets. Like, yeah, but people do wear clothes. I kind of feel like if you got on a shirt, I can choke you with it.
If you got a button up, best believe I'm tossing your ass.
Yeah, it's something like bad things will happen. Like if we're just at the beach, wearing shorts and a t-shirt, we have a little bit more trouble. But
just a little bit.
Yeah, just a little bit. But if I see you've got on a winter coat, oh my stars and garters. Guess what's happening to you today, buddy? Yeah, you're getting tossed, and then once you get tossed, I'm going to choke you with your coat. It's going to be embarrassing.
Imagine doing like, I don't even know, like a bow and arrow choke on someone with like $1,000 coat. Like that'd be like pure gold for me.
That would probably be the proudest moment of my life. That'd be the happiest moment. And I'm a father, and my daughter was born. I was there, and I saw it. I was pretty happy about that. But if I born there with somebody and they got on a fancy ass coat, that's some shit I would brag about. I would go to Thanksgiving. Every time we sit down, so Jake, how you doing? How's life been? This my sister always asks me the same question. How are things? Yeah, so I born there, choked the dude, the fucking pea coat or some bullshit. I don't know, but I fucking choked him with it. Shit was great. Yeah, you told me that last Thanksgiving. I'm gonna tell you next Thanksgiving too.
After choking someone out, you should have someone say, "Hey, take out your phone, record this, record it." I mean, it's gold. It literally is. Like, it's so crazy. You're saying, I know. You're seeing so many people utilize jiu-jitsu as like defense. Like I remember watching on YouTube this one black belt had to chase down this guy who went into his house, and he got him in like think it was a triangle. He got him in a triangle and got him. And he knocked him out. Like he basically choked him out, and was able to get the police to come. And but then it's just like that shit's practical though.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of jiu-jitsu that you can use for just straight self-defense. Period. Yeah. And just with MMA being what it is and where it is now, and just being readily available to people, whether it be ESPN, YouTube, fucking Showtime, everywhere. Yeah. Like MMA is everywhere now. People know. But that's the thing now too. We train, and
gosh, it gets annoying. The casual.
Oh yeah. Well, yeah. We'll get to that in a minute.
More drinks.
Yeah. There's there's just that thing now where guys think, well, I watch UFC. I know a thing or two. It's like, okay. I mean, I used to be that guy too. I watch UFC as well. Mm-hmm. I know what an armbar is, but I didn't know the mechanics of an armbar.
Yeah.
Like I remember being at a friend's house and me and Sarah sitting in the living room, and I'm thinking, I don't know what the fuck they're talking about, and I don't care, to be quite honest. But I remember I was sitting there like quiet, and I'm like staring and like contemplating shit, and I was thinking about like arm bars, because I didn't understand it. I was like, how the fuck does that hurt? So I interrupted the conversation. I was like, here, Sarah, come here. Lay on the floor with me. I want you to take my arm between your legs. Now, I want you to grab onto my wrist, and I want you to lightly thrust your hips up. And she had it right, like, the thumb pointed up. Wow. And I was like, oh, okay, that's why it hurts. And then that's when this was like...
You're understanding, though, the mechanics.
Yeah, like I was trying, because I'm sitting there, like, I was sitting there for a good, I want to say maybe 9, 12 minutes. It was like me sitting there quiet, just staring, trying to figure this out. Because, like I said, I don't know what they're fucking... They don't talk about vasectomies. I don't fucking know. It's fucking dumb shit. Shit that I don't care about. I'm like, because, look, if shit goes down, I might got to repopulate the earth. I'm not getting cut. Fuck all that. But a lot of people now look at MMA and think, oh, well, I know, how to fight because I watch UFC. It's like, well, you don't, though. Especially if, like, let's say we're at the beach and a scuffle happens and some guy's trying to fucking, I don't know, he's trying to triangle me.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, well, first off, good luck. I might have actually put myself in the triangle just because I know you can't. So good luck with that, number one. But number two, once I'm out of this shit, I'm going to fucking heel hook you because you're a dummy. But I don't know. It's just like that shit that you see now. Mm-hmm. And again, back then when this was going on compared to now when this is going on, back then it was human cockfighting.
Yeah.
Like now it's a legitimate sport. People watch it. Like, fuck, my grandma knows what this shit is now. It's like, when you look back at the old days of MMA, the old UFC is just, as we're looking at two strikers, quote unquote, go and they're just flailing. It's like, get the fuck out of here. Like, are you serious? Like this, I'm glad it worked out because we have what we have now because of two guys flailing at each other.
Yeah.
And,
But no, you're right. Everyone looks at the sport and they think like, oh, I see what they're doing. So I could do that too. It's like, no, your body's different from them. Their bodies are trained to do that. Your body's unfamiliar with those movements. So you can't say you know what you're doing unless you practice repetition. And you also need like proper coaching. You can't be like, oh yeah, I can see how they got that rear naked chokehold. All you gotta do is just take their back. It's like, yeah, I mean, you make the concept sound easy, but it's not. There's someone resisting. There's someone who very sporadic, and even if they don't know what they're doing, that, to be honest, sometimes make them more dangerous, unpredictable. Yeah. Like for me, training, white belts scare the hell out of me. Because I don't know if they're going to like do a front flip, pull some crazy shit like a cartwheel pass that they just saw one time and then land on the wall. Then coach is going to shout at me for busting his wall. So I don't know. That's actually even more scarier. White belt and coach shouting at me about busting the wall.
In one of our recent classes, we had in the fundamentals class, which the numbers in that class is fucking bonkers.
Oh yeah,
there's so many people in there,
and it looked like he hit 40, and I was like, just like, ah.
It's like,
There's no room for Coach Mark anywhere.
Like, yeah, it's like I look at this like I don't know that I should be here because I just want to get some training in, but there's so many people.
Last Nogi, like, what was it yesterday? That
Yeah.
was a lot.
Yeah, it was fucking bonkers, but good though.
Yeah.
Good for the
People wanna
attendance,
learn. Yeah.
learning. But we had there are three.
Wrestlers.
I don't know if they're wrestlers, but there are three dudes that are super athletic.
Yeah, I think they're either wrestlers or I think they are. I saw them.
And I can't wait. like there's just that's the ego in me. So I'm like, ooh, like please, like I know I'm gonna get fucked up, but I got something for that ass. But
I know they're young. They're like in their early 20s. They're explosive. They got energy. I only have coffee in me. It's like literally.
By the end of the day, yeah, I'm like fueled off of like maybe a Red Bull and a coffee and probably an apple.
Kids these days, man, they're explosive.
Yeah, I mean, but that's the thing too with kids training these days too. They're starting younger.
Yeah.
I started at what, fucking 38 maybe?
Oh.
Something like
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
I don't fucking. That seems like the right number. We're gonna go with 38.
But I started at their age. I started when I was 23, 22 as doing kickboxing. But now, like, I calm down so much because it's like, once you get your ass whipped so many times in the practice room, it's like...
Even when I first started, like, I was white belt, so I was scrappy, scrambling. So
Yeah.
I would get, it wasn't so much that I would get paired up with Joe. Like, I like going with Joe because I knew that this is a young guy with a lot of energy. Two, we're gonna have a war.
Joe was scrappy.
And this dude fucking baby crawled away from me once. And I was like, what the fuck did I just see? But he baby crawled away and it worked. I was like, I didn't know what to do. I was like, holy shit. I mean, it wasn't like he was running. It was like he had to, get to even ground now and figure it out. I was like, I didn't know how to take that. But it, seeing these younger guys come in now, and probably having watched some MMA, whether it be PFL, Bellator, One, UFC, whatever it may be, they have a working knowledge, and now you put them in there to start working and training.
Yeah.
I mean, even the dude that I work with on Sundays, which it's been a while. I don't even know if I want to do it anymore. It's just been so long. It's like, dude, I'm tired. I've been enjoying that sleeping on Sundays. Like, fuck, it's so good. But even work with him, like, early on, he would talk about UFC and stuff he would see, and it's like, okay, yeah, it's just not, there are details to this. And his go-to is always he wanted to go for the armbar. He loved going for an armbar. I was like, all right, have fun. I got little arms, so good luck. And, you're trying to choke me too? Okay. Like, look, buddy, you best go for the leg because that's the only thing that you've got going for you right now. You go for a Kimura, I got flexible shoulders and I'm a little dumb. You go for the arm, it's too short, you're not going to get it. You go for the neck, I got a short, stubby neck.
You ain't got no neck.
It's like, if you look at my leg, it's like, well, that leg is dangling there. It's like, yeah, I mean, it's like that's your best bet. But he actually did go for a straight ankle lock on me once.
Yeah.
And I was like, are you serious?
People have been trying to go for ankle locks on me lately. And I've been, ever since I watched Gordon Ryan, I think it was maybe 2019 ADCC, and everyone who tried to, like, heel hook him, ankle lock him, all he did was just take their back. That's literally all I've been doing against that because it's free. It's like, if you could get past that and, like, change that angle, so done.
Yeah. It's funny because I remember you were telling me about that, and it didn't make sense to me now. So I was like, oh.
Especially if they don't have any, like, there's no, like, knee reap. There's nothing there to, like, really prevent you from taking it. It's, like, it's so free.
Yeah, there's, like, no shielding or anything. It's just like, so
why,
just
why are you going to do the ankle lock if you're just going to let me, like, go past you?
I mean, and honestly, even, like, the screen's still frozen here on this pause. Like, that's almost kind of like looking at that right there. If Shamrock was actually going for a leg lock, that's almost kind of in that same principle there. It's like, okay, you're going for the leg, but like everything is exposed now.
Yeah,
he just
gave
right
it
up.
back. He gave it back.
So, any more comments here on?
Nothing for me. Like, it's nice to see these early on fights. You get to see how scrappy everyone is. You kind of see, like, different styles and, like, what are their flaws, I mean, like, obviously jiu-jitsu was very dominant back then. It still is till this very day, honestly. without a doubt. But you could tell that like there was a there's a there's how can I put it? You can see that you're gonna tell like you get to just tell like what's gonna progress into the dominant area of the sport. So no, I think this was a pretty good example, even regardless of wrestling. Hoist still like managed to like finish out his opponents every single fucking time.
I mean,
Like,
we'll get to a later fight, but there's some other points to that as well. But so that was UFC One, Ken Shamrock versus Hoist Gracie.
semifinals.
Yeah, the second semifinal match. So those are our details there, and we're gonna get you some more details in just one sec. All right, let's see here. All right, so the next fight for funsies, as we're kind of skimming through on UFC 3, we came across Emmanuel Yarbo
versus
Keith Hackney.
yeah.
I think this is the first fight on UFC 3's tournament, and let's see here. Emmanuel Yarbo is
616. Dude, this guy, like what you said, what you
This
said.
motherfucker definitely missed weight. He didn't even try. He definitely showed up to the wrong competition.
616,
I think
dude.
Keith Hackney was 200 pounds.
Yeah,
He's
200.
giving up 400.
Yep. Gave him 400 to fight this dude.
That's wild. And Yarbo is sumo, and Hackney is karate. And
Yeah, like Kempo karate. Yeah.
let me just tell you,
Oh my gosh.
like when you see these two in the cage, like square up, you look at it, it's like, yo, what is he gonna do to this guy?
Gosh.
And then he hits him.
It literally just goes with like the most predictable overhand and just like knocks him flat on the ground.
I don't think
He could've
Yarbo
finished
could block it though, because his arms
No.
don't move.
Arm probably weighs like 200 pounds.
Like he tried to lift his arm fast enough. Like he threw a kick to the thigh. I think it was the thigh or the knee. We don't know.
It's upsetting because Hackney could have definitely. Oh goddamn!
It's just the way that he fell down. It was like, damn.
Why would you try to push him? Like just kick him in the face or
Yeah,
something.
he's already down. Just throw a knee to the face.
Oh my gosh!
The rules ain't like it
Back
it
of
is
the head
now.
is not a thing.
Yeah, the only thing you
him.
can't do is you can't bite him.
Why would you try to sumo wrestle a sumo wrestler who just pushed you? He literally did. If this was sumo, he won the match because he pushed him right out the ring.
Yeah,
Literally pushed him right out the ring.
that tank top is done, son. Get rid of it.
That's all Emmanuel knows. Pushing him out the ring. He's sumo. That's all.
Yeah, like I was wondering, like, what is he gonna do? Is he gonna throw a punch? Because I don't think he can. I think he just signed up thinking I'm big. I'm gonna eat this dude. And he's got his hands up like he's ready to throw a punch.
Man, those hands are.
He ain't got no
He's
reach.
got like T-Rex arms right now. Look at that. It's just.
I don't think his arms can stretch out.
Oh look, he went for another. It's so crazy because they talk about like, oh, I'm a karate specialist, and then they throw like the sloppiest overhand over and over again.
Yeah,
The side kicks though, like look, you see that?
that like he like cranks back. Oh, you know what he is good at? Running.
Mm-hmm.
Track star, son.
I mean,
No, yeah. This is a weird fight because it's like, what do you even do? I mean, you do that. You keep beating the shit out of him, but that first punch that he threw and then he just ran up on him. I was like, no, don't run up close to him. He's still there. Like even now, it's like, yo, throw a kick.
why is the ref letting this happen? It's clearly behind the neck, behind the head.
Yeah, but that's not the rules, though. You can do all that.
I know.
You can do all that back in the day.
For me, I guess I'm speaking out loud, but it's just so.
It's like,
Yeah, there you go.
at this point, he's throwing the punches. Like,
Like a
yo,
Dragon Ball Z character. His shirt is ripped off by the end of the match. It's literally.
I wonder if he's going to show up to the next fight with a new shirt. I hope he does.
I hope so too.
It's like-
You see his fist is like busted wide open.
Yeah, that's why I was like, throw a kick, dude. Why are you punching him? Like, kick that dude in the face.
This man is missing some teeth.
I think Yarbo's chewing gum or eating something.
Oh my gosh!
I think he has
If
some
I
food in
got
his
caught chewing
pocket.
gum on the mat,
Yeah.
I'd be sent home for the whole week.
If I caught myself chewing gum on the mat, I would just leave. I was like, yo, what am I doing?
Admittedly, I was teaching class, and then I took a no-gi class chewing gum. I got in so much trouble. I was like, what? I'm
Like,
feeling cool.
I know that I've chewed gum before. I had to have done it because Sarah buys me gum all the time. I chew gum like just nonstop. I haven't had any gum in a while just because I'm like, you know what?
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know why, but she'll buy me like the Trident like fucking purple pack. I don't know what it is. It's supposed to be grape. That's racist, but you know. But no, I would always chew gum. So I had to at some point walk onto the mat with gum. I had to, but I don't do it now. So I ain't getting yelled at.
So real quick, theoretically, all right, from your perspective, what could have been done against this 600-pound man, like to just make the fight go by faster? Because like obviously he clipped him with the overhand, right? So this guy doesn't have the chin.
Yeah. So that first overhand that he rocked him with, because I mean he came in, obvious as anything, hit him with it, and he fell back. From that point, so he ran up and pushed on him, and started trying to throw more shots. It's like, you're a karate dude, kick him,
Yeah,
kick him. He's down, he's on all fours, and you know in today's rules you can't do that, but back then that shit was part of the game.
Not punches.
Punt him.
Yeah, but I mean they showed a clip where it happened. Like, I forgot which fight that was.
So yeah, it was from the first UFC.
Yeah.
With the Samoan dude.
Yeah, it was like, why didn't you do that again? You clipped him. He's on it. He's literally on all four. He's tabletop right there.
Yeah,
just
go to
throw
that kick. And the thing is, the only kicks that he threw were side kicks to the thigh.
Right. That I'm okay with. I like side kicks, but they have to be at specific areas, like obviously to the liver or the solar plexus or even to the face. I think sometimes side kicks to the leg are kind of useless. I think, I don't know, maybe if you're styling and like maybe someone's about to throw a roundhouse kick, you could do it. But it's not, I don't know, it wasn't viable to me. I'm surprised he didn't throw any like leg kicks.
Yeah. So it's funny how leg kicks are the new thing. Returning thing, I should say.
I mean, Jose Aldo was popular with it.
But there was there was a few of these earlier UFCs I saw leg kicks coming in, and it wasn't like just like a distraction kick. They were like actual weapons.
Were fucking people up.
I was like, oh shit. So, but things go in cycles.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh, these leg kicks, that's the new thing. The calf kicks are new. It was like, well, no, I mean they're just returning. People were doing them before, but things fall out of style. It's like, but also, I mean, now we're seeing, injuries coming with those things, so they're probably about to fall out of style again.
I mean, honestly, with a proper kick, I don't think they're bad.
No.
My big thing is you could do leg kicks, just don't snap your kicks too much or at all. If you're going to kick someone in the leg, turn your hips. I mean, pure fundamentals.
It's like, I don't know a lot about striking. The only striking I actually know is from you and Joe.
Yeah.
Like, and that's the one thing is like, throwing any kind of kick, open your hips.
Yeah.
And it's like that. Like that's probably the only thing I know. Is like,
I mean, it's
throwing
pure,
the kick.
It's pure, like in any combat sport, the hips they're the power makers, right? Even in grappling, hips control a lot. So, but I don't know. I guess back then people were like into snapping kicks, but theoretically they're still viable. Like for example, the popular question mark kick. It's technically a snapping kick, right?
Yes. Yeah.
You're snapping everything. You're turning everything over. You're utilizing your knee to turn that kick over, right? And you're snapping it last minute to go for the head, right? But I don't know. But snap kicks to the leg is just no bueno for me.
It's also when you're looking at the injuries coming with the leg kicks now. And to be fair, with the leg kicks, I mean Anderson Silva, obviously, with Chris Weidman, and that was off a checked kick. So when Weidman threw his kick on Uriah Hall, was that off a check or was that just?
People were saying that was from. It was. I don't. I have to look back, but from what I remember from the clip, I think it hit his knee, right? Okay. And again, the knee, it happened similar with Weidman, Silva, right? It's just check kick hitting that knee. I mean, the knee.
Yeah.
You can't feel anything really in the knee too much. It's similar like hitting the top of your wrist, right? There's not much feeling there, but it's a very, very dense, strong spot, right? So, but honestly, if they, because you got to think about it, like, why are kickboxers, like Dutch kickboxers, like people who fight in Glory, or people who fight in Yokkao promotions, or any type of more like K1, why aren't their legs breaking compared to like MMA fighters, right? Yeah. Because they're trained at properly throwing their kicks and understanding the pace, understanding where to go. And these guys throw nothing but leg kicks, throw nothing but like body kicks, right? How come they're not snapping their legs, right?
Yeah.
It's because they're not. Why they're physically snapping their shin? Because they're actually like controlling the pace. They're turning their hips. They're actually kicking properly versus like snapping it into it, trying to get it quick. And I get it. Like in MMA, you have to watch out for like the takedowns and all that stuff, right? But I mean, if you should understand that if you're going to go for that kind of high risk, it still needs to be done properly to prevent this type of injury. So
I feel like also part of it could be too, just like you said over there in Thailand, they're trained to do it properly. I think over here, it's probably like the guys are picking up on it,
yeah.
But they're just like they're in a rush because they're learning so many other things. So,
yeah.
You don't have just the one discipline that you're learning, and you're focusing on that one technique over and over and over. Like when I, briefly talked to Ashley Yoder about it.
Yeah.
She was like, look.
Go on.
She was like, for her, because she was saying like she does jiu-jitsu, 4 days a week.
Yeah.
And I was like, she was like, that's not a lot for me when you think about it. Mm-hmm. And it's like, it's kind of rushed. It's like I have to do this. Then as soon as I'm done with jiu-jitsu, I got to go to boxing. After I'm done with boxing, then I got to go to Muay Thai. Then after Muay Thai, I got to go to wrestling. And it's like you're cramming all these things in and kind of rushing them. And part of that too is you're not getting the proper recovery as well. Yeah.
But you also got to think about one thing I want to bring up also is like everyone has to think about the lifestyle, right? I mean, when I was talking to our coach about Coach Keith, and we was talking about like lifestyle in Brazil at the jiu-jitsu, like everyone's training like 100-degree weather. They're training like 5-6 hours a day. They're muscling out. Same thing with Thailand, right? They're training like 8 hours a day. They're running. They're doing all this training camps and all that stuff because they've got fights every 2 weeks. Mm-hmm. And like I mean, same for people who are like Dutch kickboxers, regular boxers. This is like their grind. So if you think about the lifestyle, they literally do a lot of these repetitions over and over again. Now, granted, sometimes these repetitions aren't even like high paced. Or I know for me, when I was in Thailand, when I was training, none of my repetitions were harming me. Even my sparring matches weren't harming me because it was just focusing on the fundamentals. Like again, just focusing fundamentals. Turn your hips beyond balls of your feet. Turn your legs over. Turn that heel all the way through. Rotate your shoulders. All that. Or just fine tuning and correcting over and over and over. And so that's how like you get to such a degree where it's like, all right, now I could kick comfortably. I could do all these types of kicks without really injuring myself. But here in America, everything's a bit more commercialized because of everyone's lifestyle, right? Yeah. For us, we do jiu-jitsu because it's our hobby, and it's not like it's like our true, like our job, right? Maybe one day it can be, who knows? But it's not like we're grinding out all these. And so I guess in America, like when everything's commercialized, they try to rush these skills right away.
Yeah.
Right. You get like 30 minutes of learning a new move, and then you got 50 minutes of like sparring with someone. So you don't really like grasp the full knowledge of the move unless like you live that shit, man. Like,
I mean, at this point, when we look at the game and how it is now, just the people we're around, and ourselves, when we do it, we go to our classes, we have a specific, routine to it. Mm-hmm. And, because I've kind of, voiced this, a few times, back at the old gym.
Yeah.
And even when we came over to the new gym, a big part of the open mat on Sunday for me was we learn moves Monday, whatever days we were training. And then the whole purpose of the open mat for me, guys want to come in, they just want to go live. Uh-huh. So that's good. You guys can do that. I'm going to drill what we worked on this week, and I noticed a difference. You know, whereas a lot of times these guys, you know, it's just like you're learning this move, and then you know, you kind of go to spar and you're going for it there, but you know, it's not fine tuned.
Yeah.
Versus, okay, I'm gonna go in on Sunday, and I was the kind of dude, I'll go in there and I'll drill one move for an hour.
Yeah.
And it got to this point in my mind where I didn't want to hinder training partners. I didn't want to, you know, make them not get there. And I remember Danny was like, "Fuck them.
Yeah.
You go in and do what you want to do because you're the one opening the gym."
Yeah.
I was like, "You're right, but you know, that's not me, dude." like I'm a little nicer than that. It was like, fuck being nice. I was like, "Yeah,
No,
you're
I
right."
agree with that.
You know, and
that.
I get it, and I definitely agree. But I'm also, you know, I'm a nurturer, so I open up the gym doors. I'm like, all right, you know, I got the open mat rolling. I'm here to work on single legs because Lord knows I need. Like I tried when we were doing takedowns. I tried to go on a single leg on someone when we were doing King of the Hill.
Yeah.
And I just, for the fucking life of me, couldn't get it. I turned into a double leg instead. I said, fuck it. Like, why am I fucking with this? I know what to do here. But if, you know, now come in and say, hey, I'm doing a single leg for an hour.
Yeah.
Like, you fucks can do what you want to do, but I'm doing a single leg for an hour and I need somebody. That's, you know, my mind.
I like what we were doing over the summer when quarantine started. It wasn't even like live rolling, right? Maybe at most like situational with resistance, right? And but it's not like I had an ego where I was just like, all right, fuck it, you just single leg me. Let me single leg you. No, it's more like, dude, I'm gonna be a good teammate. Single leg me all you want. Let's just fine tune like what you need to do. Like drop on that knee, you know, take that angle, you know.
And I think that's the important thing too with training in general with your team. And having an understanding of who you're working with and the person that's working with you. Whereas, like, if you and I are in there, and, you know, I greatly appreciated all that help because there are points with, like, the double leg where you tell me about my footwork. It's like, you got to do it this way, or, like, you're undercommitted. You know, or you might be overcommitted one spot or the other. And it's like, okay. And those things I did take to the bank. I was like, okay, I got these notes jotted down. I still have the videos. I look back at those. It's like, okay, I got tools here. But then, you know, you don't get that with everyone because, you know, you'll work with someone where, you know, they'll tell you one thing and it's like, it's all based on preference and, you know, body types. Because, you know, there's another teammate, I don't know, former team, I don't think he trains there anymore. Just not putting names out there. A taller fella. Like when we talk about the single leg, he'll go, well, like, if you watch wrestling, like the wrestlers, they don't, you know, drop that knee for the single leg. It's like, well, have you watched Jordan Burroughs?
Jordan Burroughs will literally be on all fours and shoot like a blast double, single. Doesn't matter. He will be on all fours and still get some kind of like fundamental takedown. The man is like fucking good.
And it's like, that's like, I'm not thinking about like, I'm going for a double leg and not tapping that knee. Like, no, I'm doing it the way I know, the way I learned, and the way that it's been drilled over and over and over and over. And the second that I worked with something, that was part of like me not working with him. You know, at some later points, because it's like, look, I'm trying to drill this specific way. You're trying to take that away, and I don't mind resistance while drilling, but you know, I don't know. He would do things that was just like, okay, and then Danny would, you know, tell me like, well, fuck him up when you're rolling, which. Not being a dick about it, like I would do certain things because I knew he had certain weaknesses, and I would just exploit those. And you know, I was still, you know, afterward nice when like check on him and everything. But it was kind of that like, hey man, like quit hindering my fucking reps. Otherwise, this will happen to you every time.
It's so it bugs me because like people are like, oh, single legs don't work anymore. What if I grab a Kimura? Blah blah blah. And it's like, well, if you grab it, then you did good. But honestly, like I'm still gonna work on the fundamentals of like. If I'm going to do a single leg, I'm still going to work the same concept of like, you know, what would the initial point to the end point, right? Maybe my setup is different. Like one person who really brought this out for me on takedowns was Coach Ty, right? We were over at, I asked him after a no-gi practice, I was like, Coach, man, you got one hell of a single, dude. Like, and your ankle pick is bomb too. He's like, what do you, like, I mean, any advice? He's like, yeah, man, just drill the same thing over. Just change this. He was like, I only got 3 setups, literally 3 setups, and that's something I've always drilled, and it's just something I rotate through. And like when it was like, okay, when we think about jiu-jitsu, it's like, what's your plan A? What's your plan B? What's your plan C? The same concept can still go towards your takedowns, right? What's your plan A? What's your plan B? What's your plan C? What takes you home, I guess.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
What's, your plan A is for the single, your plan B is for the single. Maybe your plan C is to like going the other way. Instead of going to the right, fuck it, go to the left and take that single on the other leg. It's still a single, right? You're still getting that control of the takedown, right? That shouldn't stir away. So, but the whole mechanics of a single leg is still there. It's just 3 different setups that he drills over and over. And I was like, damn, that's why you're a black belt.
I was just like, I mean, that's a black belt right there. So, I mean, if he says do it that way, do it that way.
Listen to my coach.
It's like, as opposed to like, hey man, so we're both blue belts, and you're telling me to do it this way, but your way's not working.
You're a blue belt,
and you're a blue belt. like if you're a blue belt and it's working, it's like okay, cool. It was like with Coach Ronnie. Like when he'll show me a move and it's like, okay, I'm gonna take your advice on that because I know you know takedowns.
Yeah.
Like, so I'm gonna listen to you on that. Versus, someone else who, I've never seen you get a takedown, but you're telling me how to do takedowns. That doesn't, and that's not to say that, you can't understand and explain it to someone. Because I know, like, for me, there's some things I can't do. But I can explain it. I know the mechanics.
Yeah.
But this specific individual, it's like the shit that they were saying, it's just like, okay, so I'm just not going to do that. I'm just going to do what coach told me to do. And I'm going to keep doing that over and over and over and over and over and over and over until it works for me. And it worked for me. Talk about other techniques. Takedowns, that's just something I think, like what we're doing last summer, that's something I need to get back to. It's just like just attack and keep doing it and commit to it. Even when we did the takedowns for this last month, I started getting comfortable with it again until my knee started fucking dying. I was like, well, there goes that. So, but then that's another thing though too. Adjust.
I think that was important. I think I was really happy for that month, but Ronnie never let me go live.
So
I was a little sad. I went live one day with everyone, and he's just like, "Nah, never again."
When we did King of the Hill,
I had to ref everyone after that point.
I think like when we did the King of the Hill, the one time he let you go, like I lined up with you, I was like, yes, like okay, this is gonna be fun. It's like you and Coach Mike. It's like okay, like with Coach Mike.
Oh, Coach Mike, he'll kill everyone.
Yeah, it's like. You can see him like holding back, and that's what sucks. It's like, oh,
he's such a sweet
just
guy.
Take me down. Like I don't care if you like murder me. Like just throw me into the wall.
That's the thing.
We'll blame that on you if it gets broken.
That's the thing. Like I know I saw Coach Mike. He was just holding back. He was just like trying to people go. He just played defensively, and it's just like, geez, this guy.
I mean, but I think that's one of the things that I enjoy about our gym is that we have guys that if they wanted to destroy you, they could, but they choose not to because they're trying to help you get better.
Yeah.
They're trying to let you work versus, having an ego and saying, I'm going to smush this guy. And it's like, it's like, no, like, let's be a team. Because the thing is, I'm not going to get better if you don't get better.
Yeah.
If I keep you stifled, I'm just feeding my ego. Yeah. You're not getting better. You're going to get frustrated and quit. Versus if I let you work, you figure it out, and now in the full live go, you hit it. And I was like, okay, all right, we got it. Now we can elevate to the next. Now I got to get better to like rise up to your level, and then you got to get better to get to my level, and then you keep growing off each other.
Iron sharpens iron. That's all it is.
And that's the beauty of it. Whereas there are some gyms that I've gone to before that they didn't do it that way. It was like everybody was kind of out for themselves. Like, I want to be the next UFC champion. I was like, come on, man, chill. Like
everyone has an ego, and it has to be checked in the room. Everyone needs to understand that we're a team.
Yeah, I mean,
everyone's here for the same reasons.
Exactly. All right, let's get to our next fight here. All right, so our next fight here is Hoist Gracie versus Chemo.
Jesus tattoo.
Yeah.
So stiff. Look at that. Uppercut that missed.
So this fight in the early UFCs, this is UFC 3. This is probably like the most complete fight.
Yeah, there were so many elements that I enjoyed aside from the scrapple. Like this, and
the cage door opening again. But they really need to get that shit sorted out. Hopefully, get it sorted out by 2019.
So after that cage, where they break out the cage, it gets very technical, which I pretty much enjoyed.
Yeah, there's a lot there. It looks like modern MMA.
Yep. The only thing I would say is, he fixes his stance.
Yeah.
Hoist is doing the right thing, throwing knees to the leg, sort of weakening it out. Chemo has a wizard. It's very modern day. It's pretty technical, honestly, which is crazy. And it's UFC 3, right? It didn't take them long to really like Chemo's throwing knees right back.
And that's the thing, though, too. It's like it's UFC 3. I think it was just a perfect recipe because like we don't see this with any other fights.
Yeah,
like for a while.
You see other elements too of a street fight, like the headbutt. He just got kicked, knee to the groin. Still got his 2 underhooks in. That takedown's about to happen. Let's see, how does he do it?
Yeah, I feel like it was a trip. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, he reaped the leg. Chemo immediately took the back. Got 2 hooks in. 2 hooks.
Yeah.
Just flattened him out. It's good.
I mean, Hoist kept moving, which is, something that's always preached to us.
Yeah.
Keep moving.
Yeah.
Always move. Do not stop moving.
Slipped out. Got his hooks out. Yeah, honestly, this is pretty good. Pretty on point.
I mean, and look, let me just say this about Chemo. If there's anyone in any of the UFCs, like, so Ken Shamrock, looking at his physique, he looks like a fucking action figure.
Yeah.
He looked like he was drawn for a Marvel comic. Chemo just looks scary as fuck. Like with a big ass ponytail. He's nothing but muscle.
I mean, pretty much he was kind of like, he's basically what Yoel Romero is today.
Yeah, yeah, that's so true.
Even the Christian part.
Yeah, because Chemo has the Jesus tattoo on the stomach.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a scary looking dude.
Yeah.
And then, just as it just happened here, Hoist had full mount and Chemo just basically white belt swept him.
Really?
The times, they are changing.
UFC, you got people who are blue belts who are like doing wonders because, they're making up for like striking on the ground and being explosive and moving around. I mean, obviously, if you're a black belt, you're going to finish like whatever you have, like Damian Maia.
Yeah.
Well,
even with the UFC now, though, if you're a black belt, there's still, a black belt in jiu-jitsu in the UFC now. If you can get them early, it matters. But once that fight starts going down, to the later rounds and striking gets involved, they're not worried about your black belt. They're trying to knock your head off.
Or you do dumb shit like going for Minari rolls.
Yeah, like over and over
again.
Oh my god, I really wanted Ryan Hall to win that fight.
I did too.
Until I saw him go for like the 8th Minari roll. I was like, okay.
Treated it like a Naga match, not even like.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Pulling on the ponytail. Chemo's ponytail. That's so crazy. The rule sets back then.
Yeah, there was just like, the only rules are don't bite him, don't poke him in the eye, and don't fish hook.
This was crazy. He used a Kimura grip to control, bring him to the cage. But I don't know if they were hit with the sweep. Oh, he's setting up for that arm bar now. Just crazy. Goes belly down.
Yeah, that was a very reluctant and light tap.
Yeah.
Where Chemo, he owned it, but I think his team did not accept the fact that he tapped out.
Do you think he could have got out of that arm bar?
I think so.
I think so.
From the angle that we're seeing, I think he could have.
Yeah.
I think just again, this is a time where people don't know what's going on, and his arm is trapped under him. He might have felt like, hey, I'm in a bad spot, but
yeah,
it didn't look like he was in a terrible spot. But the angle was really tough to see, so I don't know. I didn't realize that Hoist rocked his eye like that. 'Cause he's got
The palm thrusts are definitely big. I mean, like Bas Rutten was big on it.
Yeah,
and like
I think he had to for what, because there was one UFC event they weren't allowed to throw like closed fist punches, so he figured out, okay, well fuck it, I'll use these palm strikes, and was knocking people out with them.
I mean, we're going back to the I think it was the Shamrock fight we just watched, right? He was using palm thrusts to kind of disorient his opponent.
Yeah,
And I mean, here it did kind of the same, but also it cut him open. But oh yeah, he messed his. I guess this is where he messed his arm up a bit.
yeah, they got to carry him out, because I know this is the event. This is the UFC card where he didn't, like, he won 1 and 2.
Mm-hmm.
He did not win 3 because of injury.
Yeah.
And he came back and won 4.
Yeah.
And I can't.
Honestly, the fight is pretty good, in terms of like what they were offering back then, what was going on.
Yeah.
He did everything right in terms of utilizing the cage, seeing other things instead of like just pure grappling. Like he was throwing knees, he was throwing palm thrusts.
Yeah. And that was the thing again back then, especially those first like 1, 2, and 3. People were just sticking to their discipline,
Mm-hmm.
and not utilizing anything else. Like, hey, I'm a karate guy. I'm not gonna grapple. That's for sissies. And it's like, like I don't think that's how that works.
You taken down to the ground. You better know what you're doing, because you're gonna be stuck down there.
You know what's wild right now is like Ice House is their sponsor back there. Ice House Vario. Ice House is the worst of the worst in beers, and I think upcoming soon we're gonna review that on Columbus Social Club. No, we've been reviewing all the beers. We just reviewed Mickey's.
Ooh.
Let me tell you, not a good choice. We're gonna do an episode where we're gonna review all 40s. We're just gonna come down here one night and just drink 40s. Definitely got to be a Saturday night episode, because I can't go to work the next day. But the moral of the story is I'm getting fucked up. But with just, you look at with the way that they were doing things back then, this fight definitely stood out.
Anything with Shamrock or Gracie, I entirely agree with. Shamrock was just so athletic. He's a pioneer in terms of like not just shoot fighting, but utilizing all styles. I mean, Gracie is just jiu-jitsu all over, and utilizing like striking in very like creative ways.
Yeah,
it definitely laid the foundation for like what MMA is today.
for sure. The MMA, even when you get into those, UFCs in the double digits, 10 through, I want to say 17, maybe, 17 through, around 19, you started really seeing a change, an evolution. The rule set started changing. They started doing the rounds. They started doing weight classes. They started, having gloves. They started legitimizing the sport to something that could be, advertised and sold to people, because during that period, that's when, you had politicians attacking MMA and saying that it's not real fighting. And meanwhile, no one had died doing MMA. Boxing, people are dying all the time. Well, not all the time, but people have died boxing in the ring. With MMA, they're protecting the fighters. It's like when there's a stoppage, that's because, like, Sarah and I watched the fight the other night. A young lady got knocked out, and it was a flash knockout. It was quick, and Sarah's like, "No, she's still in it. Like, why are they stopping?" It's like, because they're protecting the fighter. Like, the girl is like flailing. She's not in it.
Yeah.
Like, her body's going, but her brain has left the building. But that's the beauty of MMA. It's like they are protecting the fighters. The ref can't stop in to stop the fight. Whereas boxing, the ref can stop the fight if he thinks like, all right, you've had enough. But, you get knocked down, you get a standing 8 count, and then you get to get your brain rattled some more.
But even in boxing, they're a little more they're a lot better about it now. Like I've been noticing, like, if you can't stand up, you can't bang, or it's my decision. I'm here to protect you. I mean, they could get mad, but honestly, like, if you show signs that you're stumbling, you're not speaking straight, you're a little disoriented, then you out. I mean, you're done. Your life is more important than this round.
Yeah, for sure. We got the next fight coming up right now is Ken Shamrock. So what's interesting is
seeing MMA gloves for the first time.
Yeah. So with UFC 3, I don't remember who won. But I'm pretty sure it wasn't Ken Shamrock. So I want to know where he lost. Because I don't know. That's what's
it right here.
But then again, I think, like I said, when I was watching this, I was drunk and on an edible. So I could be making all of that up. But I am 1,000% sure Joe White Guy won. And I call him Joe White Guy because it was just some blonde haired guy. I don't know who the fuck he was. But it could have been Felix Mitchell. I don't know. It was a stand up. It was a striker for sure who won.
I want to see how this works because.
Well, it wasn't this guy because that's Joe Black Guy. This is GI Bro.
This guy uses kickboxing too. I totally forgot about this.
I mean, if I had to bet, I would put my money on Ken Shamrock just because he looks really angry. He looks like
he looks focused.
Was probably in the back, and they told him some shit he didn't want to hear. And they told him that this was the dude who was responsible. And this dude, like, if you look at this dude, he just looks like, man, I just came from the YMCA, just shooting some ball. He didn't know he was about to get his ass whipped. That's fucked up, yo. They just fed this man to Ken Shamrock, yo. They could have did him better. They just, like, at least he's got a mouth guard. I think he's the second person I saw with a mouth guard in any of these. Chemo had one. Like, I'm a firm believer in mouth guards because I'm scared of the dentist.
Yeah.
So I'm just trying not to get my fucking chompers knocked out.
I don't wear a mouth guard. I don't wear them anymore.
Y'all are fucking brave as fuck because I wear a mouth guard. It's like the last time I did, well, sometimes I don't but if I don't, I'm definitely going light. There was one time I was rolling. Was it a mock match? I think I did a mock match at the old gym.
Yeah.
And I didn't have a mouth guard in. And I got an outside trip. And I was surprised because I had never done that. And I was like, I didn't even know what that was. I just hooked my leg and like dropped it, the person. And I fell on top of him and my teeth clattered together.
Oh, yeah. I know what that means.
And I was terrified.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
That was not the best of...
First of all, that stance. What was that stance?
Yeah, that was not good.
That's not what Muay Thai
his hands
is.
are in the fence. Come on, don't be a dick about it. I mean,
what is...
I will say he's not giving up on it, but I would retreat and try to reset because...
Yeah, as many times as people shoot it in the old UFC. I'm surprised no one didn't go like Jorge Masvidal on someone.
True. Like,
it's right.
I'm surprised that was the first time that actually happened that way.
You can kick someone in the nuts, but you can't. No one wants to knee him in the face.
I mean, that would be my first thought is to knee someone in the face, especially in the old rule set. It's just like
Street Fighter.
Just do it. His face is right there, and it's asking for your knee. It's begging. Oh, now Ken's got him.
Oh,
well, he doesn't have him, but he's trying to get to his back. No, he tried to throw an elbow to his nuts.
Honestly, if I was him, I'd throw it to the leg. So, like, it doesn't take much for that elbow to, like, bruise the leg up, right? Especially the quad area.
I mean, just right where he's at, too. It's just like, just start raining those elbows right there. I think there's also, if I'm a fighter, especially in the old UFC 3 days, I would feel very, very uncomfortable fighting someone like Ken Shamrock coming out in those tights like that. It's like, son, you could have wore any other pants, and you wore some Hulk Hogan shorts. Like, your dick and balls is all up against my back right now, and this is uncomfortable. Like, at least Felix, who he's fighting, is wearing like some karate pants. It's like he might not be
got the Liu Kang pants on.
He might not have on a cup either, but it's not super obvious. It's not like in my face. Like Ken Shamrock is like, be fucked up if Ken Shamrock wins and then get a boner because he's so happy. It's like, son,
yes!
like that's probably like why he came out looking angry. They told him it was like Sonya Blaze is in the back right now, and she's captive until you go out there and beat Felix's ass.
So real quick, I want to comment. that this is literally just pummeling back and forth and just
Yeah.
punching randomly, right? There's some. Are they?
Oh, they're talking.
They're talking. Oh wait, hold up.
Uh
Treating it
oh.
like a belt. Treating it like a belt.
Trying to give him a wedgie. So
What's frustrating is that there's so opportunities for a trip. You see it.
So I
But-
think he went for a trip a couple times and didn't commit to it, and then for whatever reason he hasn't gone back to it. It's like you've got him right now. You got double unders.
Yeah, that's a,
Yeah.
that's
Well,
another
no,
part.
never mind. He's got over under. I thought he had double.
At some point he had double unders, right?
Yeah.
And then they're just bullfighting. Like they're just going back and forth. There's no anger. There's no sidestepping. They're just punching each other in the leg or punching each other in the ribs. Then nothing's really being utilized properly. It's just brute force, which is fine. I get it because this is like the early stages of UFC. Oh,
There you go. Finally gets a takedown. But that's also again that ideal of so this is something I want to kind of point out though too. See his mount
Oh my god.
versus Gracie's mount.
Yeah.
Like his mount, you can see the pressure. The hips were digging in.
Yeah.
Well, Gracie, he got mount, and it was like he wasn't committed to that mount. It was just like he was flowing.
Yeah.
So I don't know what there was to that, but you see Ken Shamrock, he got mount, and immediately, he drove his hips in.
Yeah. Uh-oh.
Okay, so maybe he didn't get beat. Maybe he also got hurt. So basically, UFC 3 was basically the it should have been called the the consolation prizes.
Freebie.
Hey, look, the real guys that we wanted to see here in the finals couldn't make it, so here's Chet. He'll fight tonight. He was at the beer stand just a minute ago. He said, he didn't have any other plans later on anyway. That's how Tank Abbott was. It was just called Tank Abbott. He's at the bar drinking, you want to fight tonight? Yeah.
Sure.
All right. Damn, dude, just calling cats up in the middle of the night. What you doing tonight? Oh, I was about to drink this 6-pack. Well, go ahead, drink it, and then come on down to the arena.
So this final should actually be two strikers. I
Yeah.
believe Howard and no, wait. Oh, wait, hold on. No.
So I can't remember what they did with injuries. I didn't know if they had a backup fighter set to the side, which is always trash. I think it's so somebody gets hurt, you just let homeboy just come in and win. He's fresh, nothing, no hits, no nothing.
They should have grabbed someone from the crowd willing to fight.
That would I would love that. That would make me the happiest. Just because it's come on, son.
So let's.
So technically, it should have been Shamrock and Gracie.
It should have been.
Oh no,
Well, he
Gracie.
starts to fight.
No, because Gracie would still have to go against Howard.
But that's when he forfeits, right?
Yeah.
Let's fast forward a bit. I want to see what.
Fuck all that other shit. These guys are just talking about shit. That dude has a bump it in the front. This shit is weird. Have you ever known anyone who had a bump it?
No.
I always saw the infomercials, but I've never seen an actual person. Look at that. His eyes are wild as
He is crazy.
fuck.
He looks.
I'm gonna say right now, Hoist probably wasn't hurt. Hoist looked at this dude's eyes and said, "I'm not fighting that dude. This dude is a lunatic."
Did Hoist actually fight though?
No, I think he comes down. I think he looks across the cage and says, "I'm not doing this today." I think he looks and says, "Fuck this."
Yeah, you see, 6'2", 380 pounds.
I didn't know Niagara Falls was actually a place. I thought it was just a waterfall. That's fucking mental.
This guy lives under a waterfall.
That's why I definitely wouldn't fight that dude. He's 230 pounds, 36, 6'2". Probably the first time he's been from under the waterfalls. I would not fight him. Who knows what fucking horrors he's seen. No, this dude's fighting in a beater. Dancing.
My man fighting in a white beater.
Yo, he looks like
He looks like he beats wives. He looks like he beats wives.
No, he looks like if we went to a thrift shop and bought Thor. That's thrift shop Thor right there. Like, I would not want to mess with him regardless. Thrift shop, Salvation Army. I don't know if I want anything to do with him. He looks like he...
I would fight him.
I know you would. You're a lunatic too. Like me, I'm the voice of reason in fights. Like if I see something that doesn't look like I'm into it, I'm not going into it. I'm just like, you know what? I really was supposed to go to Heckinger's this weekend to buy some lawn shit for the backyard. And we're like, Heckinger's went out of business years ago. Like,
I was about to say, wait.
I don't know.
That was way before like 2010.
Like, I don't know. I just don't want to fight this dude.
Oh yeah, he forfeited.
Here comes the news. Yeah, they couldn't figure that shit out in the back. He looks fucked up. Damn, they threw the towel in before the fight started.
Unbelievable. He's like, yes.
So I wasn't trying to kill a man tonight. Yeah, you was gonna get choked unconscious.
Do you know how much like the dang? Oh, at least he bowed out.
Yeah,
we get in trouble for not bowing out.
I it's hit or miss with me. Sometimes I'll bow out. There sometimes.
I'm not used to this. Danny didn't teach us this.
It's like, exactly. I'm like, oh, I feel weird about this. Like even like in the Wednesday morning class, I'll come in, I'll bow when I come in. Then when I step off the mat to get a drink, it's like I don't bow out, and I see everybody else doing. I was like, should I be doing that too? And I was like, well, like until I get my ass kicked by a coach, I'm just gonna go ahead and rock and roll the way I do it.
Speaking of getting
actually, no, it probably does look like I'm bowing out because I put my flip flops at the edge of the mat. So I turn around to put the flip flops. Like,
what's going on here?
Wait, the Chemo just runs in, just randomly runs in. Like,
why is this guy so?
Yo, Chemo's crew is wild.
Remember, that's the guy who played Austin Powers, the dude with the shoe. How they hired him, I don't fucking know.
Yo, like cats from the earlier UFCs were in movies though. Yo, Gary Busey out of UFC is wild. Because Gary Busey is wild. Yo, anything that involves Gary Busey guarantees that there's coke at the party.
Yeah, he already looked high. He already looks high.
Like,
look at all these.
Yeah, this definitely looks like Delaware. Mm-hmm. This looks like the Delaware Fairgrounds. I can say that because nobody in Delaware listens to my podcast.
Shout out to Stellar.
I want to see if I can tag some people from Delaware now. Like, hey, listen to what I said about y'all at minute, 1 hour, 13 minute mark. And I got some nice things to say about Delaware. I never have nice things to say about Delaware.
So what happened to Kent Shamrock? I forgot about this.
So I think he was hobbling off too after his win. Yeah. I think he hurt his ankle.
I want to see the fight
because Shamrock was supposed to be the final. He made it to the final, and it was supposed to be this cracked out crazy guy too.
Did he? I kind of want to see this now.
I don't remember what happened, like because I had it on, but. Dude, I really should watch these while I'm sober. Because I think I'm making up shit now.
So is Chemo fighting? Like, what happened?
That's what I don't get. Because Chemo just stormed the cage. Like, what was he celebrating?
And this little Korean midget came in. And
yo, that's
just like, he...
Yo.
I don't understand.
Yeah, I don't get it. But Chemo definitely bought that person from somewhere. Yo, the dude sitting directly behind him, the Asian guy right here, looks like he was a fucking Karate Kid.
That's what I was Karate Kid too.
Like, he looks like a villain from the Karate Kid.
That's what I thought.
I'm going to actually go back and watch the full Karate Kid series.
Just for that.
Even number 4. The next Karate Kid with Hilary Swank. Like,
I had a big crush on her because of that movie.
Like, I think I had a crush on her because of that movie. But then I also thought too, dude, why did I watch this movie? Wasn't she like fucking around with the pigeons on the roof or some shit? I don't fucking remember. Pigeons disgust me. Pigeons, like, they're the fucking rats of the sky, son. So yeah, whatever happened to homeboy there? Who beat his ass? Like, why isn't he fighting? I think Hackney did make it somewhere. Oh, he could have gone for a single leg there.
He did. He then fell on his back and died.
It's like a turtle just fell on his back.
Yeah, bro, literally went for a single leg and then died halfway through. He died. He literally just died. He grabbed the single leg and he fell on his back.
He
and
gave
died.
up. He was like, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just gonna play dead.
He's like, I couldn't handle the 600 pounds I'm dealing with.
Dude, like, there's no way he's still alive. Like, I gotta look this dude up later.
Oh my god.
Yeah, that Hackney's probably out because dummy him sitting there fucking punching Yarbrough in the back of the head. It was like, kick him, dude, because his hand was all busted at the end of the fight.
Yeah. Wait, so can we jump straight?
Yeah,
to the
let's
finals?
just fast
I
forward
want to see
because none of this is of interest. So Chemo, is this? Hold on, let's see. No, this is just showing. I think this guy wins because there's just some random ass guy that won, and it's this guy.
if he did. Okay, he pulled a bomb ass move where it looked like caught it and then went for a sweep. If he doesn't do that, ninjutsu. No. Dominic Cruz shut down ninjutsu a long time ago. If this guy wins, I'm flipping the table.
Hey man, at least flip it when I take my equipment off. I ain't got enough money to get another computer.
If he wins,
I'm pretty certain he wins.
I don't care if Crackhead Thor wins. If ninjutsu guy wins,
Like,
I'm
if this dude, I'm pretty certain this dude wins, but I'm almost certain.
I think Crackhead Thor should win now.
I hope he wins.
Wait, is this guy fighting this? Oh, I was about to say.
Wait, yeah, who the fuck? Who? So is this Budget Thor? Yeah, it's Budget Thor.
This.
Yo. This dude, yo.
Can we jump straight to this fight? I'm like ready for this now.
Yo, when a dude is from Niagara Falls and he's missing teeth.
He's from a waterfall.
Like, yeah, it's like, no, I seriously thought that was just a landmark. I didn't think that was like a place. Because people like, I'm going to Niagara Falls. I'm like, good for fucking you.
Maybe
like,
they actually changed it and it's just Niagara Falls.
I don't know. Look, dude, I'm going to be honest. I really don't know shit
I don't
about
know anything about Canada. I
Like,
used to call Canada Canada.
I still call it Canada.
Like,
I call it Canada and sometimes America Junior.
I call them
depending on my
the
attitude.
redheads of North America.
Yeah. But the fucked up thing is, I would move there quick. It's like, hey, so where you want to move to? So what's going on in Canada? Well, it's cold. Eh. Like, they still speak French up there? Yeah. Fuck. Like, all right, never mind. I'm gonna stay in Maryland. Stay out here in Glen Burnie.
Did Big John ever fight?
I don't know that he's ever fought, but I know that I believe he's a black belt in jiu-jitsu. Yo, look at this guy.
God.
Whoa.
He went for a rolling thunder when there was no counter. That was literally a rolling thunder. A really good one too. But nothing ever happened. There was no punch, there was no commitment.
Yo.
The best rolling thunder I've ever seen was by Tenshin Nasukawa. He did it in one of his fights. And it was purely timed perfectly. Right? This guy just
Oh, wow.
Crackhead Thor just does it on.
Wow.
That is not a what?
Like, I'm so confused.
What's going on?
He doesn't know what's going on.
If he pops that head out, it's just gonna be.
Oh no, because he's gonna win.
But it's deep.
Yeah, no, it is deep.
What?
The commentators don't know what the fuck they're talking about either. I mean, they kind of don't. I mean, they're right if he can get his leg out.
What?
But
Oh no!
oh wow.
Oh, he got rocked by that standing up.
Where's that blood coming from?
His eyelid.
Okay, I was like, there's blood all over the back of his shirt. Wow.
Oh wow, that was actually
wow.
Okay.
Wow, and then he just jumped straight to mount.
That was a good trip.
Budget Thor is like flailing.
Oh,
He's flailing.
This is all fundamentally wrong, and it's making me upset.
Oh, his whole team just threw towels in. Like, not just one person. Everyone from his team threw the towel in.
First of all, ninjutsu guy didn't use ninjutsu. I did not see him use.
Well, not only
A
that,
clone jutsu.
he didn't have
the
to fight to
Sharingan
get to the
on.
finals. He just showed up.
Where was the Chidori or Rasengan? I didn't see that. Also, he did a lot more grappling than I. Well, he not a lot more, but he definitely did the stuff right. Like when
Yeah.
Crackhead Thor had the guillotine, he definitely worked on moving his body to the right side to decrease the pressure. Right. He also
Yep.
popped his knee out. A sloppy ass knee cut, but
Yeah.
it worked. And then I think it was like he got 2 double unders, or it was like maybe a neutral position, and he got like a trip in there.
Yo, he is a trivia question answer. I've seen his name 4 times already, and I still forgot it each time.
Steve.
Gentleman.
I'm just going to say Steve. Ninja Steve. Steve the Ninja.
Ninjutsu Steve. Yo.
I thought that guy was Creole for a second.
I can't wait to ask that trivia question now. Like, all right,
UFC
I'm
champion?
gonna say 4 names. Who was the UFC champion? Steve Gennum, Roy McDonald,
Crackhead.
Uriah Faber, and Cowboy Cerrone. Which one of these won a UFC title?
I forgot the name already. I just think Steve the Ninja.
Ninjutsu Steve is the winner. Like that. All of that was just completely wild and just mind blowing.
Does the finalists win money too?
Yeah, I think they get 50,000.
Oh, nice. The winner gets what, 60K?
Let's see what that check. I think the check says 50. That looks 60.
That's a 6. It says 60 right there. Why are we so dumb?
Wow, champions. Hoist Gracie,
Steve the
Ninjutsu
Ninja.
Steve. Wow. Okay, so good for him. Good for this guy.
Wow.
It was touch and go my ass. Like you're sitting in the back just chilling, hoping somebody got hurt.
Yeah, I didn't really see him do much this whole.
No, I mean he was an alternate. So basically they're like, look, motherfuckers got hurt. We need you. Like Obi-Wan, you're our only hope.
So he came out fresh.
Yeah. That's the shitty thing about it, yo. He gets to come out fresh. Well, so did like Budget Thor though, because he didn't have to. Well, he fought at least once to get to the semi.
Steve.
Oh, I know that they're pissed because they're like, we was gonna write Hoist Gracie on this motherfucker, but I guess we got to write Ninjutsu Steve. If I won a big check like that, I would take it to the bank. Mm-hmm. Like, so do you cash this, or how do we do this? You gonna do it electronic?
I was thinking the exact same thing. How do you cash a giant check? Do you want me to sign it back? Endorse it?
Like y'all got one of those giant stamps. Like, I mean, I know like Happy Gilmore, Adam Sandler, even though when he wasn't winning like the big tournaments, he still won like the big check. They're like, yeah, you got 3rd place. He was like, I want one of those giant checks. Yeah, he's got a fuck ton of blood on the side of his shirt, and that's just confusing as to why that's there.
His eyelid was cut open.
Yeah, but there's no blood anywhere else. Like, it's all piled up on the side.
I'm looking at what they're doing.
It was a nice little trip.
Triplets night. That's because
then he just jumps right to mount. He was like, fuck you and anything you have to offer.
Oh, that shook him. You see that?
Yeah.
That initial one just put him down, and then he woke back up.
That second one was solid, too.
So he's a little disoriented.
Oh, he's just raining shots down.
Yeah.
Big Steve, get in there, save that man. All right, and as my recording took a shit on us and cut out a bunch of whatever we were saying before, but right now we're on UFC 6. We got super fight Ken Shamrock versus Dan Severn. So let's see these two warriors come out. Shamrock shoots for a takedown.
Dan Severn's definitely hip with it. You saw his sprawl, even when he took an angled sprawl too.
Yeah, he was on that shit way before it's almost like he looked at Kim and was like, you telegraphed the fuck out of that. So yeah, we got these two kind of
definitely looks like just a regular wrestling match.
Yeah.
Has over under grips, controlling the tricep.
So I wonder if that's though.
Look at the grips on the shoulder.
Yeah.
blade.
So I'm wondering though if Shamrock is like, look, I'm not trying to stand up with this dude though,
Yeah.
because Severn is a big dude. I mean, just
260 for this fight.
yeah, like
60 pounds heavier.
like even if when you're just looking at him right here, it's like, yo, he looks huge in comparison.
That was good by Ken Shamrock.
Yeah,
Through the knee.
solid knee.
Got him a little startle to break away, because that's going to be exhausting with all that pummeling.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I just looked at Wikipedia because I was trying to like look up the match so I know who wins. Want to bet?
Cheater.
I mean, I don't remember shit. I mean, I got head injuries. Ooh.
That was a good
Like-
strike. See, a striking would be so. It would have been more. Oh, I love the trips.
Yeah.
They're so cautious back then. But like, if he'd commit more to the striking, oh,
He said, bitch, I'm going to choke you. And he said, bitch, I'm going to get this wizard.
that wizards can be so fucking powerful. Like, they could definitely prevent a lot from happening. He's gonna pull his legs out. Is he?
Yeah, I mean, it's like, well, look, oh,
Ooh.
did he just punch him in his dick?
Oh,
Oh. I felt like that was a weird choke because I felt like,
it was tight, right? But he fell down, and that.
Oh, yeah.
Basically, it was like he was on his back, and he got mounted. So it was basically the same, I guess, effect as if he got put on his back.
I felt like Shamrock had a tighter choke earlier in the fight, and Severn survived that.
Severn,
But it could have been just the angle.
Yeah. Now, by today's standards, you would definitely not fall back on your butt. Right?
Yeah.
You would definitely try to go perpendicular with your opponent.
So I think Dan Severn's still fighting, apparently.
Where?
I don't know. My buddy,
Does he know how to defend a guillotine now?
my buddy knows him.
He did punch him in the nuts.
That's probably why he fell back. Punched him in the nuts, and Ken fell forward on him, like, oh, hit me in the dick.
Yeah, that's literally probably what happened because, you get startled so quickly for a nut punch. Like, people nut at me, and I'm just like, don't like it.
It's not a friendly thing. So Ken Shamrock is the UFC 6 Super Fight champion. Actually, what I need to do is look up who's like the UFC champs, like actual champs, not counting Ninjutsu Steve.
Why doesn't he count?
Well, he counts in trivia questions when I fuck with people, because I'm definitely going to utilize that to my advantage. I'm going to ask people, I'm going to give people 4 names.
Yeah.
And then Jitsu Steve will be one of them. And people are going to be like, who? We're like, bitch, you better respect the champ.
UFC, what is it, 3?
Yeah. They're going to like, he's not a champ. It's like, well, neither is Uriah Faber or Cowboy or fucking Nate or Nick. Like, none of them are champs. But Ninjutsu Steve is.
Oh, this is a good fight.
Yeah, Tank Abbott versus the Russian Bear, because I can't say his name because it's Russian.
Bear versus literally a bulldog.
I mean, like that first Tank Abbott fight on this card, I mean, he definitely killed the dude.
Yeah.
I mean, it was sloppy as shit. Then the second fight, it looked like at least he had a little bit of like patience with his movements.
I like this fight because it's sloppy in a sense, right? They just bum rush each other, but they're at least, it gives the same effect of what UFC is now, which is basically you love the striking aspect. You see people love to like bang it out.
Yeah.
And they're still utilizing like cages, pressure, all that stuff. So in a sense, I find it somewhat, not clean, but it's definitely giving off what UFC is today. And maybe like there are other fights like that too, that we missed because we're pick and choosing our fights. But
Yeah, sure.
But look at that, like he goes for a takedown. Yeah, like people know what it's going for. It's like that atmosphere.
Yeah, and I mean the defense there. I mean,
yeah, like that atmosphere there must have been like what we experienced today.
So
I like
that's one of the things I always wonder about with the old UFCs, or really just MMA period though, because I haven't been to a UFC event. I've been to like Stellar, Shogun, a couple other events, Spartaka,
Yeah.
Things like that. And they're fine. They're the atmosphere is fun and it's good. But I've never been to a UFC fight. The only reason I would go to a UFC fight is really for the atmosphere. I don't even because I'd much rather just watch it at home.
Yeah, yeah.
But it's like looking at these older events like this. It's like I would have really enjoyed just checking that out, just to see, what's going on there.
Yeah. The way, yeah, honestly, it's like, oh, his blood helped him get out.
Oh, of course. And he's smiling at him. I bet he said something to him really fucked up.
I would definitely go to a UFC fight just to experience the atmosphere, right?
Yeah.
But to be honest, it's the crowd and everything is not much different from what you experience from like going to Spartica or like Stellar or like Shogun's, right? It's still the same. You're there to watch MMA fights, right? The only reason why I'm not a big fan of going to UFC fights is like I probably got like only people who get really up close seats are like people who pay a lot more money,
Yeah.
and stuff like that. And when you get like the nosebleeder seats, it's like you can't really see much. I like when I went when Overeem got his lip busted open. It's like I was watching on the big screen the entire time versus like actually looking at the cage match, and it was just I looking at the cage itself, and it was fun for the atmosphere, but somewhat kind of like I kind of just could be home in my underwear, just watching the camera focus on them versus like, oh, I gotta lift my head up, my big ass head.
And that's what like I think about with going to an event versus just watching at home. It's like more than likely I'm going to get nosebleeds, because I ain't got no money, so I'm going to be watching on the big screen anyway.
Like 70 to 100 for nosebleeder seats, right? But that's the same amount you would pay for a pay-per-view.
Yeah, which is like I pay $70 for a pay-per-view where I can go to the bathroom comfortably.
Mm-hmm.
I can, and I'm going to get the replay. So after you all leave, I'm going to watch Conor break his leg 5 more times, and then write about it, and then watch it 4 more times in the morning with my daughter. I watched Conor's leg break, I want to say, close to 20 times now. It's just like...
Well, when you first watched it, were you trying to think about, like, how did he break it, or you're just bathing?
Well, so, no, it was really just me, like, getting off on it. It was like, yes. Do it again. Do it again. It's like, and for anyone listening...
It'll be fine. It's going to grow back.
Like, it's not me hoping someone gets hurt. I truly don't want any fighters to ever get hurt, even though you're in there fighting. But, like, all the shit that dude was saying, like, leading into it, is kind of like that karma effect. Like, well, you know what? You earned it. You got what you deserve. I put on TikTok a poll for the fights, for the main card. I still got people voting now, and people are still voting Conor. It's like, yo, son.
Casual fans just
like
hurt.
I look another friend put up a post on TikTok, and I rarely read comments, but sometimes I have to take the bait. I just got to get in there, and I read the comment, and some dude was like, Conor was winning that round. He was clearly dominating on the ground. I was like,
no,
bitch, what fucking fight were you watching?
Dustin literally did what Habib did, and basically just ground and pound all his anger out on him.
Yeah. He was like, let's talk now.
Guillotine wasn't tight.
Let's talk now, bitch.
It's just, that's the thing. Like, people don't want to accept literally what can be replayed over and over again, right? Like, he got ground up, he got the mess like beat out of him when he was in bottom position, and people still are like, oh yeah, he won that fight. He got points from the guillotine. Guillotine wasn't tight. That's also like Dustin's move right there. Like, he knows how to do that, and he's a black belt. Conor's what, a brown belt?
Supposedly.
So
he did, like, it's, look,
Dylan Dennis promoted him.
I'm only a blue belt, so I don't know shit.
Yeah.
But from what I could, like, it didn't look like Conor's movement. And I know punches are a factor in there too.
Yeah.
But like his guard, like nothing that he was doing would say to me brown belt.
Yeah.
It was, if anything, it would say to me some level blue, like while getting punched.
Yeah.
Versus, because Damian Maia is a black belt. I mean, what's Mickey
Nicky
Gall. He
He's
was a brown belt when he was fighting in the UFC, and when he was in trouble, never saw him look like that. Like Ashton Kutcher is a brown belt. I don't know if you've seen him and Craig Jones rolling. All right, so anyhow.
wow. That's- but it's just like he didn't really utilize his jiu-jitsu. If he is a brown belt, I didn't really see much of it. You know, I saw like maybe, you're right, blue belt level, like he went for the guillotine. Great. But like he didn't yeah, you had to account for striking. You had to account for like the sweatiness. You're practically doing no gi.
Yeah.
Right? But I mean, when you think about it, grappling is grappling. Doesn't matter if it's gi or no gi. It's still grappling.
Yeah.
Right? So I didn't see really much to offer, like, and this isn't against Conor, right? This is against the casuals. Like, I didn't see anything where he was a threat from the bottom guard. Yeah, maybe the guillotine, and maybe, like at some point, yeah, I kind of did got worried because the part where I believe Dustin was needed to take that go perpendicular, the cage was in the way.
Yeah.
Which is, I guess, fine, but like again, Dustin's like a black belt, right? And the guillotine is like his bread. He almost got Habib with the guillotine.
Yeah, and it was deep.
It was
like,
that's a real like guillotine, and like I mean Habib, a whole different level, whole different monster. But I mean, I don't know. Conor didn't really like do much for me. Like I could see the same kind of, I guess, substance, right, from watching like a Naga match or like basically a local tournament, right?
Yeah.
It wasn't anything too crazy for me.
I feel like with Conor, when he was down, he threw some elbows and he threw some up kicks. Still not enough to say that he was winning from the ground.
No.
And it's very rare that anyone is scoring
From bottom.
Yeah.
No.
So for the knuckleheads, were like, oh, well, Conor was winning that round. First off, and this isn't the best source, but they're still the ones doing it. 2 judges scored a 10-8 for Dustin. So it's like, look, man, if Conor was winning from the ground at any point, even if you can argue it, a 10-8 round doesn't win that argument for you. I don't think it was a 10-8. I'm not a judge though, because I mean, when they were standing, Conor was landing some shots, but so was Dustin.
It was pretty neutral standing up. But then when it went to the ground, I guess Conor had like, but see, that's the thing. Conor had like what, maybe 20, 30 seconds of control, right? After that, it was like 2 straight minutes of Dustin like literally unleashing ground and pounds with elbows, standing up ground and pounds, all that stuff.
I mean, Dustin at one point rattled off 9 to 12 straight elbows on Conor. Elbows and punches, unanswered. So, please tell me, where was Conor winning on the ground? You don't get hit 9 times in a row.
Yeah.
And again, consider that a win.
This isn't anything against like McGregor whatsoever, right? It's more the casual fans who refuse to see that, like, look, your boy got messed up, right? He lost. For me, in my opinion, he did lose the first round, right? Maybe it could have been close at some point. Maybe if Conor didn't break his ankle, he could have recovered a bit. It would have, but I still would have went 10-9 Dustin.
Yeah.
Right? Because he utilized his grappling, he utilized his position. I thought he did a better job. And when he went to striking, it was pretty neutral. I think it leaned towards Conor actually.
Yeah.
A bit more, right? Because he's slick, he's good at counter punching. If he plays his counter punching game, but like, and those low kicks were landing. They were doing something about it. Like, honestly, Dustin said he checked those kicks. It's like, no, you didn't check it, bro. But like,
he checked like 2.
Yeah.
Maybe those other ones, because going back and rewatching it, those kicks that Conor threw kept Dustin from throwing his own kicks now because he had to readjust. He had nothing.
He's familiar with it. He did it on Nate Diaz. He did literally 5 whole rounds of like fucking Nate Diaz's legs up, right? But again, like, that was, if I were to ratio it, like maybe that was like maybe a minute and a half, and then from there went to the ground, and then Dustin did what he did. You just
Yeah.
did the ground and pound. So, but I don't know. Again, casuals make me upset.
Like,
It just
yeah, they're
the fact that people are still voting Conor won after the fight, it's a little upsetting.
yeah. It's the world of TikTok. So I'm still not familiar with that grouping of people yet.
Old for that stuff.
Yeah, I don't know.
Not you, me.
Like I'm gonna, cause when I go on TikTok, like my TikTok follows are wild. Cause like they feed you whatever you watch. So I watch a lot of true crime, like horror shit late at night.
Yeah.
And then like swingers. There are a lot of swingers on TikTok. So like I'm always fascinated in like the people who talk about their swingers. Like, tell me more. I need to know. Like I just want to know. Like I want to be a fly on the wall or just a camera. Whichever
Let me live
or
vicariously through you.
yeah, I don't want to be a swinger. That shit is wild. Cause like I don't know, like I don't do well with bodily fluids and like diseases. Like not saying that if you're a swinger that you have diseases.
Goes back to our first podcast where it's like, hey, you're in a sport where it involves bodily fluids and rubbing other people.
Yeah, but it's like it's one of those things where it's like I'm trying to like kill you and shit. Like if I'm like swinging, I'm not like trying to kill nobody. I'm just trying to get off.
Yeah,
I'm not trying to get off when I'm on the mats. I don't think I am. I don't know. I'm just out there grappling. I'm not really sure what's going on. I'm on autopilot most of the time. So, I mean, I walk out, I feel relaxed. I mean,
yeah,
and need a cigarette.
Honestly, you're annoying.
But no, like at the end of the day, the whole casuals, and I was a casual at one point. I was a heavy casual, but I was also that casual that was trying to understand it, which is why I ended up going to train.
Yeah.
Because I wanted to know. Like, I started training because I wanted to start a podcast, but I wanted to know what I was talking about before I started that podcast.
Yeah.
Now that I have a podcast, I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about.
So
it kind of like comes full circle.
It's so funny because like when I first started, like my whole goal was like self-defense, lose weight. So I didn't know anything too much about UFC entirely. I didn't really learn about it until like maybe like my second or third year doing MMA, right? And then all of a sudden, like I remember what got me into it. It was watching Mqrk, right? He's a Muay Thai Thai fighter, and he's famous for kicking a tree down.
Okay,
right?
Gotcha.
First of all, those are easy to kick down. They're banana trees, and it's literally just like kicking down leaves wrapped around each other. So,
damn man, putting the dude on blast like that.
It's true. They literally have an event in Thailand where you could kick banana trees and have fun with it. So, but just so you know, that tree feels like kicking. It's actually softer than kicking a bag, right? He just made it look tough. But when I first saw it, I was fooled. I was like, damn, this guy's like the real Jean-Claude Van Damme. He really fucking kicked. Jean-Claude, he kicked a tree on a movie. This guy's doing it on his phone.
We have two different views on that because I would have seen it like, nope, don't like that.
Yeah.
I
was like, well, I didn't even think about the pain part. I was just like, man, I really want to kick someone down. And now, like, my favorite thing to do is do leg kicks.
Yeah, I know.
Breaking down their tree.
Because when I have to hold the kick shield for you, and like I'm holding a fucking kick shield, and this shit still hurts. I'm like, why does that not feel good? And you do it again, I just got to sit there straight face like.
People complain. It's just you're protected.
I don't know if it's so much of a complaint as much as it's like, damn, dude, like you kick hard as shit. It's like then whenever I gotta like kick anything, I'm like, man, I don't even want to fucking try to kick. I can't even kick close as hard. Man, fuck that.
I feel bad because people look at my kicks, but it's honestly just years and years of like grinding the same technique over and over, same technique, just turning your hips over and over. I mean, if I did 10 years of like doing rear naked chokeholds, my rear naked chokehold better be like black belt level.
Yeah,
but it's
not.
mean,
like that's what I need to do is just fucking. I need to just work on one submission. Just not. Well, it's kind of the Kimura, but like even with that, I'm like.
The pressure with the Kimura is good, though. I will say.
Well, thank you. Like, because it's really the only thing I have.
Utilize it more.
Well, I do. Well, when I am able to train. Now, I do use the Kimura a lot. Because, I mean, that is kind of my go-to grip.
Yeah.
But it's like I haven't even rolled like live in a while because I've been doing the 7 o'clock class. We really don't get much time to roll. I haven't gone to the Wednesday class in a long time too. I need to get some kind of action going soon because I'm starting to wither away. And I keep looking at my kid and I think I'm about to fucking Kimura her. She keep acting up. She keep talking back. It's like, Sophie, don't do that. Yeah, but I'm just like, no, but I'm just don't do it. Yeah, but stop talking back. Like, you about to get a double wrist lock right now. Like, sit down. Like, well, like, don't look at me like that. Stop stomping. Like, sorry, I've got issues. Anyhow, so we just went over, what, 3, 4? Well, we went over several different older UFC fights, and just kind of, the whole point was really just to really kind of sit down and just hang out, chill, but also just kind of, reminisce on what MMA was
back then.
Yeah, it was like, what the fuck did I just watch?
And overall, it's really nice to go back and see like the old, I guess, style of UFC, right? Like at first you see it like Street Fighter, where it's like different styles of fighting in this one area, and people utilizing certain skills, and then you see the progression where like by UFC 6, everyone's utilizing jiu-jitsu, everyone's utilizing wrestling, everyone's utilizing some type of striking, right? It's really nice to see because like, I mean that's what you want. To be honest, you want to be able to. That's what you want in UFC. That's what you want in MMA. You want the mixture of like what's gonna happen. What's the strategy gonna be now? And it was really fun to honestly drink a little bit and kind of see like, wow, this sucks, but this is what made what we have now. Like,
I mean, it was the beginning. This is the evolution of the game where you see again Street Fighter style, where it's like this versus this. Mm-hmm. And then eventually everybody's like, well, we know that this works, so let's incorporate this into what we have as well. And
I mean, like looking back at the Chemo Hoist fight, right? I mean, we saw that he had a half guard. He didn't use the half guard. But then I don't know how it was back then. I don't know if maybe half guard wasn't even a popular thing at the time. Maybe they were all like, oh yeah, open guard and butterfly hooks and...
Yeah, but I don't think at any point, I don't know, because it's now, we're in 2021. It's like for me, immediately half guard is locked.
Yeah.
If there's any opportunity, it's like you clamp down and work from there, either try to get back to full or, come up and, take the back. So it's like seeing him in half guard and not locking it down.
It's mind blowing, right? Because, this is the guy who, basically introduced BJJ into MMA, combat sports, right? It wasn't. He made it so evident that like, oh wow, there's all these types of grappling, there's chokeholds and submissions, but half guard is basically like something we learn at white belt level, blue belt level, and refined out like later on through our progression in the belt years, and then we see like the black belt just like abandon it for something else.
Yeah, maybe he's like, I don't need this fucking half guard. I'm a black belt. Yeah, I got other shit.
But then he gets like white belt rolled over, and it's like, wow, this is crazy. This is, it's astonishing to see compare what we have now versus back then.
I had to take a break in the action there for a second. Heard some weird noises in the house. So we had to grab bottles and swords and go upstairs and investigate, which is just fucking bonkers. But it just goes to show you the kind of fucking fuckery we get into. Because Mark was for sure ready to beat the shit out of somebody. I was ready to stab him.
With a proper 12 bottle. Like, as we were shit-talking Connor.
Oh, the irony. Dude, that would have been classic. The police show up, like, so what were you guys recording? We were talking shit about Connor, and you beat someone bloody with a bottle of proper 12. I mean, look, Connor's grappling is trash, but let me tell you, he can strike, and so can his bottle. yeah, I guess kind of on that note, we'll start clearing this one out because it's late and like we're like ready to kill people with shit. So I think that's nature's way of telling me to take my dumb ass to bed.
Right.
And let's roll out. So dude, thank you again for doing this.
This is fun. You know I love you.
Absolutely, same, man. This
is always a good time to always like, geek over like fights and everything, and just kind of like get different input. Like,
yeah.
But UFC 1 through 10, oh my gosh.
It's like I'm almost wondering now. This might be the last time I really need to go back and watch this. I don't know that I ever have to try.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do 13 through like maybe 25 upcoming, just kind of get it out my system.
Yeah.
But I know that 1 through 10. I think I'm done. I don't need to do this ever again.
Yeah, I remember when I first watched it, I was like, oh, wow, this is like really intense stuff. Now that, you get an idea of like what fighting and, what combat sports is now, it's kind of like, oh my gosh, the mistakes I'm seeing versus like,
yeah,
it's not, it's hard to say because like these guys laid the foundation to what we have now, in the sports entertainment world in terms of combat sports. But my goodness, I love them for bringing us here because it's hard. It's hard how they started off, and it's hard even, competing in everything, like doing what we do now. And it's just, I'm thankful for them. But again, it was hard to watch.
Yeah,
hard to watch.
This is that shit where I watch it, I'm like, ugh. And I think to myself, man, I will beat their asses now. But probably not, though. I go in there with certain techniques I know, but I'll probably still get worked out by Tank Abbott. Tank Abbott hits like a fucking truck. I don't want to get hit by that dude. And I think he's drunk probably most of the day.
Most of the time he's fighting.
Yeah. I doubt he's ever had a sober fight. Like, besides when he was like in first grade. And I think that's where the drinking started. He was just like, all right, I guess this is what we do here in whatever, Huntington Beach. Damn, that's why he's from Huntington Beach. He the original Huntington Beach bad boy. I wonder if he fought Tito. I'm gonna look that up.
Ooh.
I know he fought Frank Mir and got toehold.
As we were talking about that earlier.
He didn't want no more of that shit. He was like, I'm out of this motherfucker. You guys keep using that pussy ass grappling. Like, I just want to stand and bang. All right, bro. But no, this was great. Like, we always have these types of discussions in Messenger all the time anyway. So actually getting to sit down and just talk about it. I know there have been other guests in the past who've wanted to actually sit down and do a similar show like this. And it's like, I just can't. Like, the bulk of the time we did this, we were actually watching fights. We were. Like, I can't, like, just have, like, fights on in the background and have conversation. Fights are on, I want to watch fights. I might crack some jokes, but I want to watch the fights ultimately.
That's what we're passionate about.
So, you got any shouts you want to do? Most people don't. So I feel it's like, as a host, I want to ask, like, you want to shout anything out? Got any matches coming up? And remember, this is going out like after a certain date. So don't shout out your match like this weekend or some shit. Like, yeah, like I'm gonna be here. Like, no, this is weeks later. Like, it's coming out weeks later.
Honestly, shout outs to IBJJF for returning me my card.
Good for them.
They're just like, oh, Mr. Williamus, it seems like
you lost your card.
You lost your card, so we're returning it to you. Thanks. I'm gonna need that when I do Worlds for you guys in November. So that's when the next big one's gonna be, is Worlds, Masters, which I'm excited for. The goal is just to medal, honestly, but I'm excited. It's gonna be one of my first big event ever.
It's fucking huge, dude. I'm like excited for you. I'm not gonna make the trip to Orlando. I love you guys, but I watch it on Flow. like for that, I will get a Flow account. Like, I've had people offer their Flow account to me. Like, don't do that, because I'm ignorant. Like, I watch the fuck out of your account. Like, I'm trying to watch something right now. Yeah, fight me. I'll change their passwords on them and shit. Like, I'm a horrible person. Yeah, I'm a horrible person. But no, like I'm definitely gonna tune in for that because
Yeah, we got a bunch of people from our team going. You know, it's me, Epps, and some other guys from Elk Ridge and Owing Mill. So I'm excited for the crew to go. I'm excited for, at least going out there and representing. So
for sure.
yeah, but the goal is to just medal and do what I can.
I mean, the team that we have growing in Severna Park, especially, is just a great representation of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu,
Yeah.
especially in the area.
Yeah, yeah.
I always talk highly of Jiu-Jitsu in Maryland when I, compare it to like other places like California, which is a hotbed for Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu.
Yeah.
The southern states are starting to pick up, like Texas, Arkansas. They're starting to really pick up
Honestly,
too.
all those areas are like picking, even striking.
Yeah,
Like right here, like over in East Coast, we're more, I would say, our striking's, getting there, but like West Coast always had it, in my opinion. They always.
I think, with Maryland or the East Coast in general with grappling, because I mean, Pennsylvania and Jersey has always been wrestling heavy. Now they're picking up jiu-jitsu. Maryland's, really carrying jiu-jitsu and some wrestling too.
Mm-hmm.
So I think, our gym going down to Worlds and representing big is, huge for me just as a fan of the sport, but also knowing these are my people. Like this is my team going down there to do this. And I mean, even though this is going to be coming out later, we got team traveling down to Orlando right now.
Yeah, shout out to them, like Sonia, Sarah, and Ronnie. You guys, way to represent the team. Like honestly, that's important. Like our team needs that.
Definitely. I'm going to try to see if I can get actually Ronnie and Sarah on an episode and talk about that experience hopefully soon. But yeah, definitely, love the representation, love that our team is doing big. So, big shout out to Crazy 88. People can say what they want to say, but, that's a team.
Yeah.
That's a team that works together and does it big and takes care of each other. So big shout outs. Otherwise, y'all know, as I always like to say, thank you to everyone who's been listening. Over the last few weeks, especially, the numbers have been like growing. So, it goes up and down, but the last few weeks, it's really been up. So thank you so much, everyone who's been listening, who continues to listen. Just I've been emotional lately. Like, friends ordering me pizzas and sending me mugs and shit, and that shit's hit me in the heart. So, and seeing people listen to this podcast, that's big to me as well. So, thank you very much for all of that. Big shout out to Zach over at Stu and the BJJ. Check out the website. Check out the Instagram. He also has champions _ champions keep _ score. That's Instagram. Keep an eye out for the app. It's a training app that he's developing, so I'm really excited about that. So please keep your eyes out for that. Go follow the Instagram. Get some details and up-to-date info there. Shout out to my good friend Jits Bitch. She and BJJ Mama sent me a mug that kind of teared me up a little bit too. So I appreciate you ladies. Thank you so much. And shout out to the Colompton Social Club. That's my other podcast that gets a little looser than Off the Mat. So give it a listen. We appreciate it. Otherwise, love you guys. Y'all keep listening. I'm going to keep making these podcasts. Bye.
See you guys.
Deep with it. Now let me sing a song.